Dear students, uh, so far we now discussed and you learned the important concepts in political science, that liberty, equality, and justice. And today we are going to learn about justice. We learned liberty from the point of view of liberalism, Marxism, and feminism. Similarly, we also learned about the concept of equality from the point of view of liberalism, Marxism, and feminism. How they view these concepts, we have learned. And today, the concept of justice is very important in political science. You should simply understand, justice means, something which is, good or which is beneficial to all in a society. And also you can simply understand that there should not be injustice to any group or any person in the society. So we need to build an ideal society where there will not be any kind of injustice. So when we see negatively, we can easily understand that there should not be any injustice to anybody or any section in the society. But when we look at the concept positively, what actually is the justice? So that we should learn. So let us pay attention to the class, and this is very important class. Let us have an in-depth, understanding of the concept of justice. Now, before looking at the concept of justice from liberalism, Marxism, and feminism, let us understand first what is the concept of justice. That we should understand. So let us see and let us begin our journey to know the concept of justice. Oh, share. Right. Just now, as I have said, justice is not only an integral part of political science, but also of ethics, law, and philosophy. Ethics is a subject which deals with norms and ethics. What is good, what is bad, what is justice, and what is injustice. So ethics, justice is very important part of ethics, and also law. Why law is made by the state to ensure justice to all, and justice is a larger concept. It is an ideal that sought to be achieved through law. So why we make laws are made to ensure justice to all. And philosophy, as we have learned, deals with ideals, norms, values, how society ought to be. So generally, when we think how society ought to be, we keep in mind the concept of justice. So it is a synthesis. It is a synthesis of all values. If you take liberty, what is the ultimate goal of liberty? What is the ultimate goal of equality? What is the ultimate goal of law? All these concepts have ultimate goal as justice. So it is a synthesis which combines all these values. The ultimate goal of these values is justice. And also it is a thread that runs through all these values. So we should understand justice as a kind of synthesis. It is a kind of integration of all values, and the result of integration of all values is nothing but justice. And also it is a thread that runs through all the values, like liberty, equality, law. So that is how we should look at the concept of justice. And why justice has become important, because of the emergence of democracy and socialism in 19th century and 20th century. It has given way to the concept of social justice. So generally now it is understood that many sections of the society have been subject to historical injustice. They were suppressed, they were exploited. Only those people who are considered to be rich dominated the society, and the majority sections of the society suffered, including women, suffered injustice, suffered oppression, suppression, and exploitation. So the social justice now is the voice of the oppressed, is voice of the poor, voice of the underprivileged in the society, because a democracy has to see that everybody should participate in the governance, and also everybody should participate in the decision making process of the government. If everybody is to participate, then everybody should live, everybody should have competency to participate in the governance. So the modern concept of democracy, especially socialism, tries to achieve justice to the underprivileged sections who have been suppressed. And also socialism says, as long as there is inequality of income, and or the means of production or in the hands of the rich, the justice will not be ensured to all. So that is what, with the emergence of democracy and socialism, justice is generally is understood as social justice, which aims at doing justice to all the sections of the people in the country or in the society. Justice in the contemporary world is concerned with determining logical criteria. So the criteria should be logical, should be rational, for the allocation of goods, services, opportunities, benefits, power, and honors, as well as obligations, that is duties. So every person and every group should have equal obligations with their fellow human beings, particularly in a scarcity situation. Here, the scarcity situation is that where these goods and services are limited in number, but whereas the demand for the goods and services is more, is so competitive. So in such a situation, when demand is so extensive but the resources are scarce, then we have to allocate the goods and services or all these opportunities based on certain logical criteria, based on certain rationality. If that allocation is made, everybody should at least feel that they are not subject to injustice. So that is very important. And meaning, let us see the meaning of the justice, from where the word is derived and how it should be understood and what actually it implies. The word justice is derived from the Latin word jus, J-U-S, jus, and also included justus and justitia. All these terminologies give imply something, primarily a joining, a fitting, a bond. Justice means it's nothing but combining. Here combining means all the people living in a society or in a country should feel that they are related to one another. They are bound by something uh, which is um, uh, which is fair, or which is good for all the society, for all of the groups and people. So it means primarily a joining or a fitting a bond or a tie, gliding into a sense of bonding or obliging, that they should feel that they should obey an authority, uh, so that they would benefit, they would all benefit. So that kind of bonding should be, is the main theme of justice. Now let us see some definitions given by great philosophers since ancient times. When we talk about justice, it is Plato, who lived during 429 BC to 347 BC in Greek city. He was a great scholar, as you all know. He said man is a social animal. Uh, for him, justice is very important. Uh, to him, according to him, justice is giving to every man his due. It is a combination of reason, courage, appetite, and will in terms of the state. So every human being possesses these three, aspects: reason, courage, and appetite. Those are the rulers in whom reason dominates, because they are more and more rational. And those people in whom courage dominates are soldiers, and those people in whom appetite dominates are the common men or common people, and will in terms of the state. So the when people are divided based on these aptitudes, or based on these characteristic features, then society will have justice. uh, so the justice to him shows a kind of division of the society into different professionals, and performance by those professionals without interfering into others' profession. If that happens, and the society is divided based on the internal characteristic features of human beings, and perform their duties professionally, then justice would prevail. That is how Plato defined justice. Now his disciple, his famous disciple, and also the father of political science, Aristotle, who lived from 384 to 322 BC, he wrote a book called Politics. As I said, is the father of political science. According to him, according to Aristotle, justice is no other than each and every individual in society discharging his moral duties. So it is also a kind of performing, each and every individual his moral duty. So here, discharging his moral duty is nothing but behaving as per the law. So if everybody respects the law, that becomes a great virtue, then justice would prevail, according to Aristotle. And when we come to modern definition, Ernest Barker is a England political philosopher who belongs to England. Justice means a combination and coordination of political values. So political values, as I've said, liberty, equality, law, and justice. Here, justice means it's a combination of all the values. So everybody should have liberty, everybody should be treated equally, and rule of law. All these combined together would give rise to a kind of justice. And also, if you coordinate these values, here coordination means in a society there should not be more liberty, than equality. And in certain society, there would be more equality than liberty. If you give too much of importance to equality, then liberty would suffer. If you give too much of importance to liberty, like in the market society in capitalism, then equality would suffer. There would not be equality. So combining, and if you coordinate them, then every group and every individual will feel secure, and will feel that he is having justice. So justice is nothing but it's a kind of means. It is combination and coordination of all political values, according to N.S. Barker. And then finally, the modern concept that has been dwelt very deeply is by John Rawls, who lived 1921 to 2002. He wrote a book in 1971. The book's name is A Theory of Justice. So in him, he in his book, he deals with the concept of justice, how people, in their original position, with their common sense, without having known to their background to which they belong, or to the group or community to which they belong, without knowing all those class orientation or group orientation, a human being as a rational animal would dwell into a thinking which will enable everybody to live together without being denied basic necessities of life. So based on the veil of ignorance and original position, people derive certain principles. Those principles would serve the justice. To him, justice is the first virtue of social institutions, as truth is of a system of thought. So if anybody wants to put forth any system of thought, the basic factor is truth. So if your system of thought is not true, then it will not be considered. And also, if you take any institution in the society, any social institution like family, the first is virtue. Virtue is the first thing. Virtue means a quality, having certain morals, having certain norms, is very important for any social institution. And therefore, the first virtue of social justice is the first virtue of any social institution, like a truth to the system of thought. Justice is an interpretation of principles. Here, interpretation means giving meaning to the principle. So why that principle has come, why that principle is there, that are suggested for the distribution of rights and duties, and at the same time, division of social advantage among all the members of body politic. So this is very important. This is a very broad and very deep concept of justice. So here we should understand the concept of justice given by John Rawls in his book, Theory of Justice. So this is a very important and modern concept of justice. It tries to combine both liberalism and socialism. So after learning 4 definitions of justice, now we are in a position to understand the concept of justice in a better way. And then let us have a look at how the different political philosophers in different periods of time looked at the justice. So it is a kind of the evolutionary changing concept of justice. First, let us have a look at how Greeks, Stoics, and Roman Romans viewed the concept of justice. First, let us see how in ancient Greek period, the great philosophers looked at the meaning of justice. Virtue is knowledge. That is what entire Plato's philosophy revolves around. And here, virtue is consisted in the discharge of duty by every individual without interfering into others' duties. That is what just now we have discussed, how Plato viewed, the concept of justice. For Plato, virtue is knowledge. Here, each individual, based on his aptitude and based on his characteristic future, he becomes a profession. He takes up a profession in which he will have thorough knowledge. And the person who chooses a profession and is having the knowledge that is necessary to discharge his duty, that is true knowledge. So here virtue is knowledge. And according to Aristotle, law abidingness is the virtue. So if everybody abides by the law, then virtue will prevail and that will ensure justice. So here we should understand the difference between Plato and Aristotle. For Plato, it is knowledge is the virtue. For Aristotle, it is law abidingness is the virtue. So that is what they view the concept of, that is how they viewed the concept of justice. Stoics, so they were the people who lived in ancient Greek. Justice could be discovered by reason and was superior to positive law. Here, positive law means the law made by the state. So justice could be discovered by reason. So he says when human beings, as a rational human beings, indulge in reason, and if they go by reason, they would find the justice, and justice can be discovered. And the justice is, as we have discussed earlier, the ultimate goal of any law is, reaching or achieving justice. Justice is an ideal or higher concept. So law is a means. So laws are made by the state, and sometimes even that law fails to have, reason. So here reason is the ultimate thing that judges any law. If that law doesn't, enable to reach justice, then that law can be set aside. So that is how Stoics viewed. So human reason, they believed in human reason, and which enable the society to reach justice. And for Romans, justice is associated with law. So that is how the ancient scholars, ancient political scholars viewed the concept of justice. Now, modern theory of justice. This is very important. After Reformation movement, Renaissance movement, and Industrial Revolution, a modern period has begun. Modern period emphasized on humanity. It emphasized on rationality. It emphasized on human being as the center of the society. Earlier period before modernity, it was religion, and it was society, not individuals. It was society used to be important before the modern period has begun. So when it comes to modern period in political science, in political theory, we should know the great, we should know about the great political philosophers who are also known as the philosophers contractualists. Contractualists are those philosophers who believed that society is, the state is originated, the state is the result of the contract entered into by the people among themselves. It is a kind of, better situation The creation of state is a kind of better situation than the no, then existing state of nature. So people wanted to come out of the state of nature, and therefore they entered into contract, and the state was the result. Now Hobbes identified justice with absolute sovereignty of the state. He viewed the how people in the state of nature fought one another, how there used to be a kind of war situation everywhere, and how people used to compete against one another, and how warlike situation prevailed, and how human being wanted to protect his life, and therefore how he entered into a contract and established absolute sovereign state to regulate and control the human passions and the human behavior. So for Hobbes, it was absolute sovereignty that would achieve justice. And for Locke, no, Locke identified justice with natural rights, as we have discussed about John Locke, who pioneered the natural laws, and there, according to him, there are certain natural rights like right to live, right to property, and right to liberty. These are the fundamental rights which are given by natural law, and so the state comes into existence to protect these natural rights. So here human being and his natural rights become very important. Through limited government that is controlled by these rights which are guaranteed by a constitution, then a limited government would ensure justice to all, according to John Locke. And Rousseau, how human being in the state of nature enjoyed true equality. With the emergence of family and private property, inequality has begun, and human being has become so crooked, and so he has become an animal-like character he has acquired, human being has acquired, and he has become jealous, envious, all bad characters human being acquired after the emergence of private property and family. So to control the bad nature of the human being, to ensure justice to all, the popular sovereignty, that sovereignty should be rest with common good. So human being is having two characters. One is he's for common good for sometimes, and for sometimes he's so selfish. So the common good, the absolute authority that is with common good, will ensure the justice in the society. So general will is nothing but a kind of common good which is having sovereign power, that is popular will. So that is what Rousseau viewed. According to these three philosophers, so they have their own perception of having a political organization which would ensure the justice. And then contemporary theories of justice. These theories focus on distinction between substantial justice and procedural justice. This is very important concept. What is substantial justice and what is procedural justice? So the contemporary theories, almost all the contemporary theories, focus on the distinction between these two concepts. If you understand what is substantial justice, what is procedural justice, then you will have proper understanding of the concept of justice. Let us see what is procedural justice. Procedural justice treats the rules of market economy as the model rules of human behavior. Here, the rules of market economy. What are the rules of market economy? See, demand and supply. If there is more demand, prices will be high. If there is more supply, then prices will decline. So everything depends on these principles. So government should not interfere, and if there is a need for production of any particular item, then that will be produced if there is a demand. If there is no demand, that will not be produced. And people also survive based on their capacities. Those who have capacity will survive. Those who do not have capacity will perish. So this is the rule of the market. If these rules are protected, then human behavior, according to those rules, human behavior will be ensured. So procedural justice treats the rules of market economy as the model rules of human behavior. So every human being wants to protect his interest and wants to survive, and therefore he acts. So that is how the justice will prevail. The freedom of contract is the mainstay of procedural justice. So people will have freedom to enter into contract and to perform their economic activities. And those who are not able to perform economic activities, then they will lag behind or they'll perish. So that is the principle of market economy. So the main viewers of this view, procedural view, who emphasized on procedural view, F.A. Hayek, Milton Friedman, and Robert Nozick were the main exponents of procedural justice. They simply say that state should not interfere. State should confine performing state should confine itself, performing only a few, protective functions and maintaining law and order. The other activities like economic and other, beneficial or developmental activities should not be taken up by the state. So human being will, as a rational human being, as a selfish human being, will work if he wants to live. So that is how justice will be ensured. So this procedural view is the mainstay of the capitalist economies and also neoliberal economies, where freedom is given to every individual to invest, to earn as much profit as possible, and to accumulate wealth as much as possible, as much as one individual wants. So this is how justice can be ensured. And the idea of substantive justice corresponds to the philosophy of socialism. As you all know, socialism is a kind of social organization where the means of production is nationalized, or the means of production is not allowed to be within a few hands, and everybody will have economically equal opportunity, or economic equality would be given priority in socialism. It holds that test of justice in society consists in ascertaining whether poor and the underprivileged have adequate opportunity to improve their lot. The allocation and distribution is the primary issue, and the procedural aspects are secondary. This is very important. If the goods and services are allocated and distributed equally, and everybody will have adequate opportunity to improve their life or their lot, then justice would prevail. So here, creating proper conditions, socio-economic conditions to the poor and underprivileged is very important. So in procedural justice, what happens, or in market economy, the poor and the underprivileged will have no opportunity to improve their lot. But whereas socialism gives a lot of importance to allocation and distribution of goods and services to all the people, so that they will have every opportunity to improve their lot. So this is, substantial justice. In capitalist system that corresponds to procedural justice, the creative freedom of human beings is destroyed as his skills and talents and energies are forced to cater to the needs of the marketplace. Here in market economy, what happens? A laborer, a proletariat or a laborer has to work out of necessity, and his skills and talents and energies are forced to cater to the needs of the marketplace. To cater, here needs are the profit of the capitalist class. So he has to work very hard. And the equal dignity and moral worth of all human beings is a mirage in the capitalist economy, because human being is not treated with a dignity, and his moral worth is subject to the forces of market, of profit and loss. So human being loses his dignity and moral worth in capitalist system. Then the ultimately what happens in the capitalist system, there are two very important consequences, because the majority of the people do not have access to the minimum necessities of life. Many people suffer, many people lack the minimum needs of the life. When an individual is denied the minimum necessities of life, like education, health, and shelter, he will not be able to develop his worth, or he will not be able to develop his skills and talents, and he lags behind. And in capitalist system, what happens? This is one way that majority people are denied access to minimum needs of life to develop themselves. And another thing is, in capitalist system, work is divided, and laborer is forced to work out of necessity. But work is the main thing to a human being. So work is a main thing to a human being. Through work, human being realizes. Through work, he attains salvation. So for every human being, work is important. So work should be done out of, his passion. And work should be done out of his passion. When work is done out of passion, he will create so many innovations. So that is how when work is done willingly with passion, then many creative things will be possible. That is how socialism views. So capitalism works against these very basic concepts of human beings. So in capitalism, the poor will suffer, the poor will be exploited, the poor will be denied minimum needs of life, and the work gets divided, works gets mechanized, he loses interest in the work. That is why he loses his main purpose of the life. That is how capitalism makes the poor suffer. So in the procedural justice and substantial justice. So we should understand the difference between procedural justice and substantive justice through these concepts of capitalism and socialism. So this is very important. So that is how we should understand the concept of justice, as we have learned the meaning of the justice, different definitions of justice given by different thinkers, different political philosophers, from Plato, Aristotle to Ernest Barker and John Rawls. And also we have we have understood the concept of justice through different stages. In ancient period, Greek period, how Stoics viewed, how Greeks viewed, and how Romans viewed, and how modern thinkers viewed the concept of justice, and also contemporary thinkers viewed the concept of justice. And finally, we learned procedural justice and substantive justice. Procedural justice emphasizes on making a social organization to work as per the market principles. So if you ensure the liberty of the individual and the state confining itself to performing only a few functions like regulatory, like protecting the nation and protecting the country and protecting the law and order, and then justice would automatically prevail. And whereas substantial justice, where the distribution of goods, allocation and distribution of goods is done you know equally, then the procedural aspects are secondary. That is how we should understand the concept of justice. I hope you have understood the concept of justice well. Again, go through the slides and listen to the talk carefully. Okay, thank you.